Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Boxiest, and today we are going to continue the What If series. What if events had gone differently? And in this What If, we're going to change the history of Cobra Kai. What if Chozen never helped Daniel during the events of Cobra Kai Season 5? So in this timeline, the events of Cobra Kai Season 4 would still happen. The season would still end the same way. Tori would still defeat Sam during the All Valley, so Cobra Kai would still win overall. Eagle Fang and Miyagi-Do would be forced to shut down. Robbie would still go to Johnny in this timeline, and Miguel would still run away. So Johnny and Robbie would still go to Mexico to find Miguel. Terry Silver would still betray Kreese, and in this timeline, Daniel wouldn't get chosen, so the events of Season 5 would carry on. Cobra Kai would continue to grow, and Daniel would want to find a way to take down Terry Silver and Cobra Kai. Daniel would want to hire a private investigator to investigate Terry Silver, but Terry Silver would still find out and he would warn Daniel to stand down. And without Chozen interfering with Cobra Kai, Terry Silver would hire the Valley Senseis in this timeline. So in this timeline, Terry Silver wouldn't get Master Kim Dayun and her senseis, and by the time Johnny, Robbie, and Miguel get back, Daniel would go to Johnny and he would ask for his help to take down Terry Silver. And at first, Johnny wouldn't want to get involved, and since Daniel wasn't at his lowest point during this time, he wouldn't suggest that Robbie and Miguel fight, so Miguel and Robbie would remain enemies. So Daniel would continue trying to take down Terry Silver on his own, and the events of Season 5 would carry on. Daniel would still think that Terry Silver was trying to recruit Mike Barnes, so Daniel would still track down Mike Barnes, and he would still confront him, but Mike Barnes would say that he hasn't spoken to Terry Silver in years, and he would still give Daniel the number for Terry Silver's lawyer, and the events of Season 5 would continue. Terry Silver would still burn down Mike Barnes' store, and those events would stay the same. Terry Silver would still want to ruin Daniel's marriage, so Terry Silver would still provoke Daniel at the fundraiser. Amanda and Daniel would still fight in this timeline, and Amanda would still leave. Daniel would continue trying to expose Terry Silver, and he would still confront Stingray, and without Chozen holding him back, Daniel would threaten Stingray, but Stingray still wouldn't say anything. Eventually Daniel would realize that what he was doing was wrong, so Daniel would decide to back down. So Daniel would go to Stingray's apartment to apologize, but Terry Silver would still be there. So much like in the original timeline, Daniel and Terry Silver would still fight, but Terry Silver would still defeat him. Johnny would still find out, and he would want to help Daniel. So Johnny would want to go confront Terry Silver at the Cobra Kai dojo. Johnny would show up at the dojo, and he would see Devin training among the students. This would make Johnny mad, and he would go into the dojo. Devin and the rest of the senseis would be surprised to see Johnny. Johnny would tell Devin that she doesn't belong there, and he would say that Eagle Fang was making a comeback, bigger and better than ever. Devin would be happy. The senseis wouldn't want to let Johnny leave, so Johnny would start fighting off the Valley senseis, and he would have a harder time than Chozen did in the original timeline. But Johnny would still defeat them, so Johnny and Devin would leave, and the events of Season 5 would continue. Miyagi Fang would eventually reform, but in this timeline, Robbie and Miguel wouldn't get along, and they would still be rivals within the dojo. Devin would join Miyagi Fang in this timeline. Johnny and Daniel would continue training their students in Miyagi Fang, and they would still want to find out Terry Silver's plan, and without any other choice, Johnny and Daniel would still go to Kreese, and he would still tell them about Terry Silver's plan of entering Cobra Kai into the Saikai Taikai, so Daniel and Johnny would still interfere. So Miyagi Fang and Cobra Kai would train for the Saikai Taikai, and the day of the match, Kenny would still fight Hawk in this timeline, and Robbie would tell Hawk to take it easy on Kenny, but Hawk wouldn't want to listen to Robbie because they weren't friends, so Hawk wouldn't hold back, and he would defeat Kenny in this timeline. Tori and Sam would still fight in this timeline, but since Terry Silver paid off the referee, Tori would still defeat Sam, so Cobra Kai and Miyagi Fang would still qualify for the Saikai Taikai. Tori wouldn't go to the Miyagi Fangs in this timeline, and she would continue to be in Cobra Kai. Johnny, Daniel, Amanda, and Carmen would be celebrating Carmen's pregnancy, and those events would stay the same. Mike Barnes would still steal the limo, and he would still confront Daniel, but Daniel would still tell Mike Barnes that it was Terry Silver that burned down his store, so Mike Barnes would want to go confront Terry Silver, but only Daniel would know where Terry Silver lived in this timeline, so Mike Barnes would take Daniel's phone, and he would check Daniel's map history, so Johnny and Mike would go confront Terry Silver at his house, and in this timeline, Terry Silver would be home alone, and he would see the limo break through his gate, so Terry Silver would call the police. Mike Barnes and Johnny would still break into Terry Silver's house, and they would still want to fight him, so Johnny and Mike Barnes would team up against Terry Silver, and together they would take down Terry Silver. This is when the police would show up and arrest Johnny and Mike Barnes, and they would be arrested for assault. So in this timeline, Cobra Kai would remain open, and Miyagi Fang would lose Johnny as a sensei, so the rivalry between Cobra Kai and Miyagi Fang would continue, and that is where I'm gonna end this what if. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think would have happened if Chozen never helped Daniel during the events of Cobra Kai Season 5? Let me know in the comments below. YouTube lets me know that the majority of you are not subscribed, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And I'll see you guys next time.